Welcome to Factorio Krastorissimo recap. My name is Nila, so this is the 5th weekly recap of my Twitch series. So in case you are only watching here on YouTube, then let me remind you that I'm also very active over on Twitch. I'm streaming pretty much every day at 8 p.m. Central European time, and the address is twitch.tv/Nilos. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, this is the base I'm working on. It is quite an amalgamation of mods, and it's primarily the 3 mods that you will really see is the Krastorio overhaul, the Factorissimo for the buildings, and the transport drones for the transport between them. So this week I was trying to sort of go about and just kind of figure out what is the summary of this week, and it actually turned out that it's several different things that I've actually done, which is nice that there's no like one thing that I took up the whole week. But basically it's been about getting this empty location. This is before we start the week, so this is at the end of the last recap, end of the previous week. Yeah, a week ago. So what we had was we've emptied this timber location that used to make wood, but now it's going to be empty and making our hub. Or since this is a city and this is kind of in the suburbs, then it might actually be called a mall in this case. Ugh, disgusting. But anyway, and then we're also working on purple science, and as well as doing some monitoring, because as soon as we get purple science up and running, we will see that it starts draining the resources for everything as all the science kicks back into gear. Right now it's pretty stable because we don't really have a continuous demand. We've done all of the science that does not require any purple, so working towards that. Let's start by jumping forward in time and just have a look at what the situation is after one more stream in the week. Let's have a look. Okay, so in this episode, the main task that has been done is a single location. Well, actually, let's now that we are over here, this is going to be noisy, so okay, not that noisy, but a bit noisy. This is a power location that we have done. It's basically self-contained. It takes water in, makes it into wood. Wood comes in here, gets mixed with some oxygen that we have here. So oxygen plus steam plus wood gives methanol, biomethanol, yes. And we'll put that into a box and then burn it. So at this point, I'm going to do this. All of it is scaled to deliver 81 megawatts of power consistently. However, the thing is, if it doesn't consume 81 megawatts of power, then everything else gets put in here. But since this thing is only consuming 81 megawatts of power, then I've added a couple more just so that it can actually burn through this, but it's not really working. So this is just a very nice little power plant. We have how many we have? We have 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. They're exactly the same recipe. And let's work our way back to the main base, because the main objective for this episode has been getting the new hub up and running. And that's a robo hub. So we built robots last time, and then it's a matter of putting them into use, and that is down here. So you can see this is quite a busy location. Lots of stuff are being brought in. And in here we have just been basically robots, all the roboports all the way around, things going in here, and then everything is being sorted with robots. I'm now starting to actually request, so that the way it works is that I go in here, boom, it'll refresh my inventory with whatever it needs, takes the stuff out I don't need, and put new stuff in as I need it. It's quite simple, and it works really well. It's a hub. It's not supposed to be massive, producing massive amounts. It's just supposed to continuously produce. And right now the main issue is actually the engines. Krastorio has quite a bit of heavy use of engines. Since it's not part of the blue science, then it's actually being used for a lot of other recipes. I think that makes sense. So many things in Krastorio that initially you just wonder about it, but then when on closer inspection it actually makes sense. So the fact that there aren't, for example, a lot of the new machines you need use engines. So that would increase the consumption of engines generally. So it's been taken away from blue. So you're still having a lot of engine demand. It's just not from the science, but it's from the machines. I like it. It's a cool way of doing it. So that has been, it took a while to build it and just get everything sorted, set out the circuit conditions, all of that thing. So that's the main part. What we also noticed at this point was that we are actually running out up here in this one, running out of wood to keep this one flowing. It's actually consuming quite a bit of wood, and that we had taken out the timber location that used to be our wood production, which wasn't even keeping up at that point. So what we've done is we've now moved it into a smaller location. Here we have the Hype location. It's a tier 2 location, and this one is now producing. Yeah, everything is producing. Yeah, it's just slow. It's not the best recipe, but it's the recipe we have. I guess we can't put any modules in it. So this one gradually producing some, but I just when I built it, I realized this is not really making a lot, considering how much we need for just green circuits and coke. Those are the main consumers of wood. So we built one more, and records has also been reallocated to this purpose, and also here another of the timber locations has also been allocated. So that should cover all of our wood needs for quite a while, to be honest. So that's basically what we did in the first episode of the week, just making sure that we have increased our wood production and built our new hub here. And then we started seeing power issues, so we allocated that one. Let's use this opportunity just to jump on forward to the next episode. Let me just see. Maybe there's actually one more thing that wasn't actually done. Here we have some production of modules. I don't think we did that. I'm pretty sure we did not do that before, because this is in preparation. If we look at the yellow signs, does not use any speed modules. Well, it doesn't really, but it's used for rocket control units that we will eventually need. And let me just check on, yeah, need to go a bit more this way. But if we look here, I'm preparing slowly towards the production science, because that's really using a lot of productivity modules. Also, it's just nice to have modules being produced at nice ratios so that we can keep these operational. Luckily, the recipe is the same, but it's using an absolute insane amount of these modules. So as soon as this one gets into a sort of a consistent demand, then we won't be able to keep up here. This is looking good. It's just in an idle state. And also over here, it's in an idle state. Looking at the quantities, actually using almost 5 per second. That is pretty good, as long as we can keep the demand up, keep up with the demand. Now, at this point, that is where we jump forward in time to the next stream, which is going to be around the 50-hour mark for this base. Let's have a look. And here we are. We just crossed the 50-hour mark into the space, and we have built a few more things. Let's have a look at where we are. First thing is, well, we previously had here, Leon was making oxygen, but we really didn't need that much. So we reallocated this one, a new location that came up, a small one. But Michael is now taking care of a lot of this product for us, a lot of oxygen, which is just filling up so that we always have enough oxygen available for whatever process we need oxygen for. And now that the hub is up and running, then we're actually seeing that we can build a lot faster. If we look at this one, if we look at the inputs here, we have the uranium, and that was already something we started accumulating some episodes ago, so that's already taken care of, not a problem. The productivity modules we just saw that we had built it. The what's it called? Basic circuit boards, blank circuit boards, they are what they are, they're coming in. And also we need a lot of iron. A lot of iron is actually because in this point, this is crazy, because productivity module or production module here, production science, is actually using 10 transport volt, which is a crazy amount. So I built this giant build here. It was absolutely disgusting to build it, but now that I look at it, it looks extremely nice, just like symmetric and at ratio, and it's just nice, isn't it? So this builds all the stuff we need here. So we have productivity modules, we have red belts, we have the blank cards, and we have the uranium all going in here, getting converted into purple science, and the purple science is now available. So this purple science has actually put a giant strain on the base, mainly down here. This one just not keeping up, but this is going to consume all of the electronic components we have, and the electronic components is over here. The electronic components is running out of plastic, but it's also going to run out of, we can already see this is very low quantities, running out of glass, not yet of silicon, but also will run out of silicon. So what we're really seeing is as soon as we put the purple signs into production, all the other signs also started producing as well. And the result was pretty much that, now we're getting signs, was that we start seeing shortages everywhere. I knew this because we basically just built one location of each thing at the size that I thought was fine, but it was never really considered from the perspective of are we building at proper ratios comparatively. So for that, I have started making this monstrosity. What this is one of these items here is basically hook it onto a network, and then you can tell it what it should monitor on the network, and then it will output that there on a wire. So it says there's 20,000 light oil. Great. What I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, look for plastic. Plastic goes in here. Consider the plastic. If it's less than 5,000, make a warning. And these are now the warnings in the system. So what we are starting to do is now basically stopping our continued tagging at this point, because we have all of the main sciences, or well, I don't know if main, but let's say the mid-game sciences, all of these sciences. We don't have the next ones unlocked. The next ones being, let's see, there's matter research, and there's the optimization. This is the space, but the matter is something also completely different. We can also get that before even doing this one. And then there's one more advanced, and I think there's also an S1 there as well, singularity. So there are 4 more science packs, and those belong in what can only be described as the late game. So we've basically got all the mid-game tech up and running, but slowly. So we are going to work on researching everything we can at this tech level. And while we do that, we're going to walk through every single one of these that we are missing, and just go through and say, all right, why are we running out of plastic? Well, the thing here, it's pretty obvious, I would say, is that, for example, you see red circuits. Well, red circuits is probably running out. Let's have a look. You can just go through it, right? Red circuits is running out of greens. Also should run out of electronic components, but greens, yep, greens, it's just too slow. So that one needs to be upgraded. I see some gray assembly machines in here. So yeah, definitely too slow. So a lot of things have just been built once and then ignored, but we need to make sure that it continues to scale up. So red circuits, it's also, and okay, because of the productivity modules, it's actually missing this one. This one's out because of plastic. Plastic is out because of lack of petroleum. Petroleum is out because this thing just isn't very good. But now that we have purple signs, we can also research modules, and that's basically where we have to go from here. So let's take a look at the future. Actually, one more thing, since we're talking modules, we're talking beacons, all that stuff, then power will become a problem. And the way I've sort of hacked my way at that problem, I'm not sure I like it. I'm happy about it, but I've done this one. This one's what I'm, let's see. Okay, first I want to go down to the 3 power plants that I have highlighted before. The way they work, where are they? I think they're over here. So we had a look at them before. It takes a bit of coke in and some water, and it goes in here and builds, whoops, that one. I've now made an extra output from this that says if it's more than 10,000 stored, then just export it outwards. Oops, outputs, export it out, so that it becomes available to the network here. That's now available. Boom, this is perfect. And you can see that's available, and we have a absolute ton of biomethanol, that's what it's called. And I'm just taking the biomethanol and putting into a separate location that is just dedicated to, ta-da, like that. Vichu is just a powerhouse of the cell or something. So he's just taking care of everything coming in here, and they are just being produced. We can see how much is being produced right now, 125 megawatts. And if I filled it up, it would be 250 megawatts of power coming out of this one. It is obviously a bit fragile because I could end up running out of biomethanol in the 3 other locations if I keep scaling, but it's a pretty good stopgap until we're going to leapfrog the nuclear power because it's super complicated. and just transition directly into fusion power. That's at least my intention. It's going to be a way off because there's still a lot of tech between me and fusion power. We need some mineral water, we need some lithium, we need some tritium, and we need some DT fuel, some heavy water. There's a lot of things that we need to deal with, but that's future things, future problems. But very much this one is the focus for the last episode of the stream. So let's jump forward, have a look at the issues that we are addressing in the last episode of this previous week of streaming. And at this point we are now all caught up with the stream, at least at the end of this walkthrough here. And let's start by looking at our warnings, because that's actually really good news that we've been focusing this last stream on just tweaking and tuning. And we can see here the only warning we have is actually copper. We had major issues with the iron, and we're going to look at it, but also plastic and petroleum and all that stuff. So plastic, let's start by looking at plastic because it's nearby. The only thing I've really done is upgrade it from yellow to red belts, and just put some speed modules and stuff in here so that it just produces, it's a bit more efficient. It doesn't produce more, but it's a bit more efficient, because it was actually producing quite a lot. It was just that it was not getting enough inputs. So by making it slightly more effective or efficient, like 10% more, it helps. But that's not really the big thing that makes a difference. This up here is what really makes a difference. We're getting more inbounds here, and we're subsequently also getting more. You can see here we're adding a lot of beacons. One of the issues I also had was I was simply making way too much lubricant. So now I've also constrained it, having less actual lubricant production. And this one, it's not great because it's only like speed module 1 and productivity module 1. But it's a pretty good start. It goes from being 1.0 speed to 2.55 with an additional 12% productivity. So it's pretty good. All of these are working. It gives us quite a bit of petroleum gas. You can see there's 200,000 stockpiled here, plus the 20,000 that's in the network. So we definitely have right now at least to have enough petroleum to keep us going. We want to add one more of these, but that's easier said than done. A lot of it, what is happening, is actually constrained right now by the fact that copper is constrained, because copper now constrains stuff like green circuits. Actually, let me have a look at green circuits in just a while. First, we're going to go all the way up, because our first major issue that we had during the stream was an acute lack of iron, which made absolutely perfect sense that we were running out of iron. You can, by the way, see that this path here is getting wider and bigger, and there are more new factories popping up along the roads, which is super awesome. So let's see, go up, go up, go up. Oops, up here, yes, that one. That's interesting. I don't even dare look at it because I think it's... How did that happen? How could this happen? How could it run out of water? I am stunned. This was working fine, and then somehow it ran out of water. This is supposed to be a water neutral circuit. How did it run out of water? That makes no sense. This one has also run out of water. This one's still going. Okay, this is peculiar to say the least, how it could run out of water. I've not picked... Oh, I know why. I know why. I picked these up when I built this one manually, and then I picked the other ones up and stamped them down, and that has drained it of the water that was inbound because it's a closed loop, and I just picked up the machines which included it. So let's ignore that one and pretend we didn't see it. I can always edit it out afterwards, right? So you will never know that it happened. Instead, I'm just gonna go up here and say, all right, look at this beautiful thing. Okay. So what we have here is, this is how it's supposed to be. We got the iron coming in. It's going into this loop here, making some more enriched iron, and the enriched iron is just available. I have scaled this up quite drastically. I have now 3 of these. Big Wolf Chris, BGOP, and the original was... Who was the original? Sigurhag. Okay, so there, and we are... this one needs to be updated, so if you watch the stream tonight, then remind me that I need to fix the enriched, unless I can remember it myself. But in either case, the fact is now that enriched iron is not a problem anymore. We've also scaled up on the iron. Actually, iron the iron smelting is also scaled up, and we're just heading there, just running a bit. That's actually what makes the bigger issue, or the bigger difference. Another thing that we saw last time was the green circuits was actually what is holding up the red circuits. So what I've done is I've built a new location, which is again constrained by the lack of copper. Also because this is consuming a lot of copper, I have to use some blue belts here. This was quite a mess to try to figure it out how to get it in, but it is actually working. It takes, if we look at the overall consumption here, I'm quite proud of the ratios. It takes exactly 90. Exactly 90. That's exactly 3 full belts of copper. So it's quite a lot actually. And on the output side, it delivers 111 green circuits per second. That's why I need to upgrade these to blue. I just haven't been able to go back and pick up the blues yet. But when I pick up the blue and come back here, this will now be able to transport all 135 outbound, which is more than is needed. Currently, it's the best of cases. It can only export 90 outbound, but since the inbound is not really keeping up, then it's not really a problem right now. It's taking 48 iron and 48 copper, so 48 iron and 48 wood. So also we might actually be seeing some wood shortages, we don't know, or iron shortages for that matter. This is a big facility, and I think I might take this one that's made by Smeagol and just replace it at this point, because then I can repurpose this one for something else, because I think this one won't be enough. 111 is pretty good, especially in the Smartpak, because let's see, where is it? Blue circuits do not require any green circuits, so we don't have like this absurd amount of green circuit consumption just because of the blue circuits. What we have, however, in terms of iron is that by the way, we split up a new one, but the old one has also been upgraded, so now it's producing. Boom. Exactly taking 120 of these and 120 outbound, so it's now outputting 4 red belts, and this one's also outputting 4 red belts. The issue we have is on the copper side, this one can also output 4 red belts of copper, except it doesn't have the necessary inbound materials. The reason why it doesn't have the inbound is not because of lack of resources. Well, actually it is kind of lack of resources, so we do need to tap this one as well, but actually more like nope, not this one. It should be, well, yes, it is this one, because this is full and this is empty. That means it's a production speed thing. I'm simply not converting it fast enough from raw copper into enriched copper. So we need a couple more locations like this. Definitely we're going to take Aberon to reallocate for that. And if we had some other tier 2, we have a tier 3 that I don't know if I'm going to use for it. It's not really ideal, because this size is pretty close to fitting inside of this location. It can't fit in a level 1. I think the level 1s here will be future fusion powers or something like that. That seems to be a good idea to do that. So as we can also see from the warnings, it is really copper that's holding everything up at this point. It's not holding up the science, I believe. Let me just have a look. Nope, all the science is good. It's pretty good, all of it. But there are probably still some things that, yeah, green circuits still in short supply? No, not really. So it's also good. So at this point, we actually, despite the fact that we are still researching new things, and we have a few more things, actually not a lot of new things, and then we're going to run out. So it actually means that next week, the week that we are starting right now, we can actually focus not on when we've solved the copper part, then we're ready to take the next leap upwards in tech and actually start launching rockets, getting to maybe matter science or matter tech. That would also be super interesting. And also fusion power would be an absolutely lovely thing to do. If you look at our power armor, we really want this one, but that requires some optimization card and some advanced cards. But yeah, a better power armor would be really lovely. Better power armor would be even more lovely, but that's singularity. That's even worse. But yeah, so now you should be pretty much caught up on where we are. Also, it's serving as a bit of an explanation of how Krastorio works, how I'm building the base, what are the things that go together. The only thing sort of tech-wise we unlocked this week was actually the production science, but on the other hand, our base wasn't really performing well, so now it's back to performing as it should, and we can now take another leap up the tech ladder. So I hope you are enjoying this more comprehensive update. It is a bit longer than just going like, yeah, okay, we built this, we built that, but it's a new mod, so this is a good opportunity for you to also catch up and understand what the mod is and how things are working. I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope to see you over on the Twitch channel. This is Twitch TV, so I'm streaming this base on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European Time, and the other days I'm streaming other games. So hope to see you there, or here on YouTube, or maybe on Discord, or maybe following on Twitter. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys there next time. Until then, take care and stay effective.